Hey guys! I wanted to talk to you about the game DayZ, as it's currently been taking up most or nearly all of my free time recently, and I've been enjoying it, I can't lie. So I thought I would show you some gameplay, tell you a bit about the game, and explain what it is. So first things first, I should mention the game is currently in alpha. Secondly, it's a survival and scavenging MMO. DayZ is set in a fictional Soviet-esque state known as Chernobyl, and your character is a survivor of a zombie apocalypse. Yeah! So, in order to stay alive, you need to scavenge the map for stuff like food, water, medication, and anything else you decide to carry around with you and hope that it's going to be useful later on. So, when you first begin the game, you'll most likely be spawned somewhere along the coast. Pressing tab to bring up your inventory, you'll see all you have is the clothes you're wearing, a flashlight and a battery. The flashlight and the battery is basically useless unless you plan on playing on a nighttime server, so I normally throw that away immediately just to free up some space. You will then notice your character is telling you that it needs food and drink. Sustaining your character's health is key. Ignoring this can cause your character to become ill, you can become dehydrated, and eventually it will probably lead to death. Some DayZ foods require tools to open the tins, so you need like a screwdriver or an axe, something with a blade or a pokey thing. That's what she said. As for drink, there are some vessels that can hold 5 to 10 portions, I think. And funnily enough, there are some drinks which closely resemble Pepsi, Coca-Cola and Sprite. Exploring nearby buildings will reveal items up for scavenging. While some buildings have nothing, which is quite frequent, others can have multiple loot, so be sure to look real closely as some items are really not as obvious as others. I advise getting a backpack of some description. It's pretty useful to hold and swap out your items as you explore. Avoiding a larger backpack might be your preference if you prefer to be a more stealthy player, although this is obviously going to sacrifice your ability to carry lots of items, so that's up to you. As you wander further, you will encounter zombies. At the moment, as the game is in alpha, they're still not much of a threat. But don't try and tackle a Z unless you have an axe or better. A wrench might be doable, but it's going to take quite a few hits. And it's not really worth the gamble, as once a zombie has you bleeding, unless you have a first aid kit, you're pretty much screwed and likely to bleed out or go unconscious. Something I should have mentioned earlier. In DayZ, once you die, that's it, you lose all your items and you have to start from scratch all over again as a noob on the coast. So that is why being stealthy and scavenging is so important. Unlike other games where you're given all that stuff in the very beginning, DayZ doesn't give it to you, you have to go and find it. So if you find an SKS on DayZ, you're going to have to run around for ages to find the ammo. And even when you do, you might only find a couple. So you have to ration that ammo. Save it for when you really need it. And that is what I like about DayZ. As I mentioned before, the game is currently in alpha, so you are going to encounter glitches and bugs. Dying randomly does happen. Breaking your legs also happens. And zombies glitching through walls happens all the time. But it's just part of the alpha testing, and to be honest, I get a lot of lols out of the glitches on DayZ, so I don't have a problem with them personally at all. All in all, this game is definitely worth the $20 if you enjoy stealthy survival type games. Small disclaimer before I go, this is just a basic summary of DayZ standalone, from my perspective. There's obviously so much more I could have mentioned, but I wanted this video just to be short and informative, and to give you a glimpse of what the game is like, and how it plays. So give it a go if you think you might like it, and I will see you in the next video. See you later guys.